So in this video, I will be telling you about the different methods in which you can charge a body. So in the previous lectures, we have studied what is charge and then what are its basic properties. Then I have told you a few numericals on it. And now the question is, how do we make a body charged? See, whatever be the method you are charging it, a body can be charged only by transferring electrons. So depending on some materials, they have a tendency to lose electrons and some can accept the electrons. So the very famous example, most of the schools or that you have studied at your lower classes, a glass rod is rubbed with a silk cloth, then glass gets positively charged and silk gets negatively charged. So this is only basically because of transfer of electrons. But to generalize it, we say that there are three different methods in which you can charge a body. The first method is by friction. Okay, what is the first method? Charging the body by friction. Then second method of charging is by conduction. And the last method is by induction. Okay, so these are the three different methods in which you can charge a body. So let's go one by one. So first let us start with how do we charge a body by friction. Okay, so select two materials, okay, which are of having a different electronegativity. Okay, so some substances have a tendency to lose electron. The other substance that you are selecting should have a tendency to gain electrons. So the one example I already gave you, glass rod and a silk cloth, or sometimes it can be a glass rod and a fur cloth. Okay, so first let us start with the first example. So take a glass rod, connect it to a wooden handle, okay, because wood is an insulator. And if you don't have a wooden handle, charge will pass through your body and it will be earthed. So the charge cannot reside on the glass rod. So to ensure that charge resides on a body, see that it has an insulating surface, that means insulating handle here. So the glass rod has an insulated handle and let this be a silk cloth. Create a friction between these two. Okay, while creating a friction between a silk cloth and the glass rod, charge is transferred from glass rod to the silk cloth. Electrons are moving from the glass rod to the silk cloth. So glass rod is losing electrons. So any body which loses electrons will get positively charged. And the second material, that is silk, has gained the electrons, so it becomes negatively charged. So this method of charging, we call it as charging by friction. So here in this case, I said glass has got positive charge, whereas silk has got equal amount of negative charge. So if 10 electrons are transferred from the glass rod to the silk cloth, whatever is the magnitude of charge on glass rod, the same will be the magnitude of charge on the silk cloth. So it is not again necessary that every time glass rod should only get a positive charge. Because the other substance is silk, it has got a positive charge. If you choose another substance, okay, say I am rubbing the same glass rod with a fur, okay, fur or flannel, whatever. Okay, so fur is a material which all of you know. Okay, so then rub it against fur. Now this time you will observe that glass rod will get negatively charged. Glass with fur. And fur gets positively charged. Now you think of, if the glass rod is getting negatively charged, this case, from where to where the transfer of electrons has taken place. So in this case, electrons have been transferred from where? From the fur onto the glass rod. So this is how it is. Not anything strict rule that always a body has to get only positive. You can make it positive or negative depending on the material that you have chosen for creating the friction. Okay, so this is called the first method of charging. Okay, now let's come to the second method in which you can charge a body. Okay, as I told you, the second method of charging is by using the process of conduction. So let's see what exactly is the definition of charging a body by conduction. So in this method of charging, we are going to bring a charged body in contact with an other body. It may be charged, may not be charged. So this method of charging, we call it as charging by conduction. I repeat, charging a body by keeping it in contact with another body is called charging by conduction. So for this conduction to occur, let us take two identical metal spheres A and B. A is positively charged, placed on an insulated stand like this. B is also a sphere of same size, which is uncharged. Now if you bring them in contact with each other, that means connect them with a metal wire, then you will observe that charge will be transferred from A to B. So A loses some of its positive charge and B gains positive charge. Now remove the wire. B is getting charged by the help of A or by keeping it in contact with A. Now here we have to remember one point, that is when the two bodies are of same size. Okay, I repeat, if the two objects are of same size and you are having a charge Q1 on A, Q2 on B. Okay, I know Q2 is 0 because B is not charged. Let us assume if the charge on A is Q1 and the charge on B is Q2 and you are bringing them in contact with each other, then the charge on each object A and B, after keeping them in contact with each other, would be Q1 plus Q2 divided by 2. So indirectly I am telling you, if the second body is uncharged and the first body is given a charge Q1 and you are bringing them in contact with each other, charge is equally distributed if sizes are equal. Again I repeat this point, make it a note because this will help you in solving some numericals. If the two bodies are of same size and you are keeping them in contact with each other, the amount of charge is equally distributed between the two objects. So that's why you can take the charge on A as Q1 and charge on B as Q2. When you bring them in contact, A and B both will have a charge equal to Q1 plus Q2 divided by 2. Let us understand this with a simple example. Say the charge on A before connecting Q1 is 10 microcoulomb and charge on B is 15 microcoulomb. It may be 0, may not be 0, depends on the question. So once you connect them and the sizes are equal, what will be the charge on each object? QA and QB will be equal, that is 10 plus 15 divided by 2, 25 by 2, around 12.5 microcoulomb. And if they say second body is uncharged, take the value of Q2 as equal to 0. So even if Q2 is negative, the same rule. Okay, say one more example. Say Q1 is 10 microcoulomb, Q2 is minus 20 microcoulomb of same size. Connect them. What will be the charge on both of them? QA and QB become 10 minus 20 minus 10 by 2, that is minus 5 microcoulomb. So both the objects will have the same type of charge, both negative or both positive, if it is charging by process of conduction. So I have been repeating same size in all these questions. Think what would be the answer if the sizes are not equal. Okay, so you think of it. I will tell you the answer in the next lecture. Okay, so as of now we have studied two methods of charging. One is by friction and the second method is by conduction. Now look at the third method of charging. This is called charging by induction. Okay, let's see how a body can be charged by induction. When do you call the process as induction? Look at the steps of induction. At last I will give a conclusion. So for induction to occur, okay, we will take again a body A which is already having a positive charge, a metal sphere placed on an insulated stand, and two more spheres of same size, not necessarily be of same size, any size will still do. But look at the diagram, how are B and C? they are already in contact with each other. So we need 3 spheres on insulated stands. A is positively charged. B and C are in contact with each other far away from A. Now the first step what we do is bring the sphere A very close to A. Bring the first sphere close to B and C. So when you bring it close to B and C, now we know metals have free electrons in them. B and C are obviously metals. Think of what would happen to the free electrons of B as well as C. They get attracted by the positive charge on A. So these free electrons move towards A. That means to the left end of B, electrons will come. Or electrons move towards A. If negative charge has shifted to one corner, the other side you get equal amount of positive charge. Now at this particular stage you will see that B has negative charge on one side and C has a positive charge on the other extreme side. Now without disturbing this arrangement, slowly move the C away from this. So when you move C away, A will have its positive charge as usual. B has a negative charge. This negative charge is held by the positive charge because there is a force of attraction between them, and you have moved the C away. Since C has come away, what will happen to all these positive charges? Do they remain at one corner? No. There will be repulsion if they remain at one corner. So to minimize the repulsion, all the positive charge is uniformly distributed on C. Okay, now see, is C getting positively charged? The last step is move this A also away. When you move this A away, the negative charge on B is uniformly distributed. Okay, so here I'll show you. A as usual, it is having its own positive charge, whatever it has in the beginning. On B, we have got negative charge, which is uniformly distributed throughout the surface. And C has got positive charge, which is uniformly distributed. So this method of charging, we call it as induction, because without keeping the bodies in contact with each other, we can get it charged. So the charging of a body without touching it is called charging by induction. Okay, once again I'm repeating the steps of induction. Just look at the steps. First we started with a body A which is positively charged. B and C are in contact with each other. Step 1, bring A very close to B and C. The free electrons of this metal will move towards positive charge. So B gets negatively charged this side and C gets positively charged. Without disturbing A and B, move C away. Then a positive charge is uniformly distributed on C. And without disturbing C, now slowly move A away. A is having its own positive charge. It did not lose anything. B has got negatively charged. C has got positively charged. So this method we call it as the method of induction. Okay, now that we are familiar with the 3 methods of charging, that is by friction, second is by conduction, and the last one is by induction. Now if the question is, which is the best method of charging? Okay, think of it. Okay, my answer would be induction. Then the reason is why. Why is induction a better method of charging? Okay, so think of this question. Okay, so then you post me the answers. Let me see how many of you can predict the answer. Then one more question I'm going to give you today is, I want you to charge a body negatively using a process of induction. Again I repeat, charge a body negatively using the process of induction. Okay, so you cannot repeat the same process what I have used. You don't have to use two spheres there. You will have to use only 2 objects. One charged body another uncharged. This uncharged body should get negatively charged. The process you have to use is by induction. So once you can go through the NCERT textbook and then you will answer me these two questions.